Hi guys, Chris here. I just want to do a very quick tutorial on the MACD indicator, which you can see at the bottom of my screen here. The MACD has got a couple of moving parts. First of all, you can see these blue lines here, which we call the histogram. And then you've got a red line over here, which is our signal line. And you can see this flat section here is just the zero line. Scroll across there, then you'll see that it's zero. The idea of the MACD, it's got a couple of different functions. The blue cloud here, or the histogram as we call it, is supposed to give us an indication of the amount of volume in the marketplace. In other words, how much currency transactions there are actually happening at that particular time. You can see that each blue line actually corresponds to a candlestick above. If the histogram bar is over the zero mark, it's also an indication that the trend is bullish. And obviously the converse is also true. If the histogram bars are underneath the zero line, then it's an indication that the trend has changed and is going bearish. And you can see how that works there. We use the signal line as, well, basically one of the signals that we can use to enter a trade. If you have a look at this signal line here, you can see at the moment where my mouse is hovering, the signal line is actually within that histogram cloud. And there's a point at which the MACD histogram goes down, but the signal line pops out of the cloud. Okay, that is basically the signal that you look for to sell. So you can see here, if I get my crosshair, the line has just popped above that blue histogram bar, and that's a perfect area to sell, or that's a signal to sell. It remains a bearish signal all the time that the signal line is above zero and outside of the cloud, or conversely below zero and inside of the cloud. So that is a bearish signal all the way down here. Then it gets to the other side and it pops out of the cloud below the zero. That would indicate a buying signal, or bullish movement, or buying signal in fact. And then all the time that it stays outside the cloud below the zero line would be a bullish signal. If it pops back into the clouds here, or the histogram bars, then that would be a selling signal. If you can see, it just pops out there again, that's a buying signal. And then it pops back into that cloud, that's a selling signal. All the way down here, I'm still selling, still selling, still selling. And then back to the other side there, and you can see it's just popping out the cloud. It's below the zero line, so it's an indication that we should now look to buy. Again, it's coming up here, it's still outside the cloud, but it's below the zero, so that's a bullish signal. And we pop inside the cloud here, to the upside, it's still a bullish signal until the first histogram bar where the signal line goes on top. Sometimes you'll find it's not 100% clear, so you'll see this area here that you can actually, these things that you can drag up and down. So you might need to spot a signal to drag your MACD up a little bit to just see if there is actually a gap there for your signal. That's pretty much all for today on the MACD, but you just need to remember for the signals, if it's above, if your cloud is above the zero, then if you're looking for a sell signal, then you just wait for that signal line to pop out of the cloud. This is still a sell signal. If it's below, if your MACD cloud is below the zero, then your signal line, if you're selling, will be inside the cloud. And then when it gets to the point that it goes back outside the cloud, but it's below zero, then basically it's a buying signal. So I hope all that makes sense, guys. If you do have any questions, then give us a call, drop us an email, pop onto the chat room. I'd be happy to answer. Thanks a lot.